kindergarten, it's Mrs. Griffith back for one more quick talk about with you before you get started on your work today, Tuesday. You have been working on writing an informational book. You've been gathering facts and information about an animal that you are interested in. And as my example and as my animal, I wanted to find out about lynxes. All right, and if you remember last week, we learned about the habitat of a lynx. That means where it lives, the food that the lynx likes to eat, a description of what lynxes look like, and then finally an interesting fact about a lynx, about lynxes, that I thought was interesting. And you all have been researching animals that you have been interested in. It's been really fun to read those on Google Classroom and to see what you found out. Well, this week we're heading into our final phase of our informational writing. And that is where we take the information from our graphic organizer and we put it into a book form, okay? So these are two books that prior kindergarten students have written, and they let me make a copy of their books. I have some copies of kids' work that I keep to show as examples. So this one is about bald eagles, and it's by Anna Spink, and it says, "Look at bald eagles" by Anna. And notice that she did a really vibrant and detailed cover. I love her picture of an eagle. She's focused right in on an eagle's white head, of that bald eagle. And she went over her letters in black, and it's just nice and bold and makes me really want to read this book and find out about bald eagles. Seba also had a really great cover. His colors are a little more muted, especially in my copy, but I loved his title. He had a really bold beginning right out of the gate with his title. His title is Fiddler Crabs on the Prowl. Doesn't that make you want to read it? Fiddler Crabs on the Prowl. I'd like to know all about fiddler crabs. So I'm using these two as examples, all right? What they did, what Anna and Seba did, and what you are going to be doing is taking this information from your graphic organizer and copying it onto separate pages. Now I've scanned those pages and have sent them to you, so you've got them at home. Mom and Dad can cut them just with the paper cutter or a pair of scissors. And these will be the pages of your book, okay? You will have to make a cover for your book, and that can just be a plain white piece of paper, okay? And if you have a little bit of heavier paper for the back, or tagboard or cardstock or something, that is helpful just in kind of giving your book some body. But if you don't have that at home, don't worry. You could just use plain paper for the back as well. After you have finished all of your writing, you will be stapling your book together with the cover on the front, back cover on the back, and you'll have your pages in order. Habitat comes first, then food, then description, then interesting fact, and then back cover. And you will be stapling those together when you are finished. Do not staple them together until you have finished all of your pages, okay? And you'll notice on your sheet that there's a little line right here that goes down the side, the left-hand side of each page. Do not write over there and do not color over there. because that's where the staples are going to go to hold your book together. And so if you write over here, it's not going to show once you staple. So you are going to take your time, and just as you would do at school, you're going to do your writing and your picture one per day. I do it that way because I find if I just say to kids, go ahead and just do your book, they start out strong and pictures are neat and writing is neat, but then as they get going with it, it kind of turns into a mishmash. So we're going to do 1 page per day. So today, Tuesday, you're going to start with your habitat page. So you're going to look at your habitat section in your graphic organizer, and you're going to take your habitat page and do your writing about where your animal lives and your picture. Now, you are the author and you are the illustrator of this book. So it is up to you how you want to design your page. Some authors have their pictures at the top and the writing on the bottom. Some have the writing at the top and the picture on the bottom. That's up to you. If you want mom or dad to do whisper lines for you, so you can write on the lines, that's fine. You don't have to, okay? So today you're going to be doing writing and illustration for your habitat page. Tomorrow, Wednesday, you're going to do writing and illustration for your food page. Thursday, you'll do writing and illustration for your description page. And then Friday, you'll be doing your interesting fact, writing and illustration. Then you'll be putting back cover, front cover, and stapling. Boom, boom, boom. Now at school, I would put some decorative tape on. If you have decorative tape at home and you want to add that for binding, that's great. You don't have to do that. That's just a nice little touch. And it also helps keep your books together, and it gives them kind of a nice finished look. So I thought I would read these 2 stories to you, these 2 informational books, just for you to get a feel for what some other children have done in kindergarten. Okay, so this is Look at Bald Eagles by Anna. Bald eagles live by rivers. Bald eagles eat fish. A bald eagle has brown feathers. A bald eagle has a white head. Now I wanted to show you a technique that Anna used as an illustrator. She did her writing up top, and then below she chose to really focus in on a close-up of the 2 parts of a bald eagle's body that she talked about. So she does a close-up of the wing to show you the feathers, and she does a close-up of the bald eagle's head to show you that it's white. And I thought that was kind of a cool technique that she used. Her last page says, this was her interesting fact, bald eagles have huge wings. Their wingspan is amazing. And she really showed that, didn't she, by emphasizing that huge wing size that they have. Okay, so that was Bald Eagles by Anna. Okay, here was Seba's. Fiddler Crab on the Prowl by Seba. Now Seba decided to do a dedication page, and he said, dedicated to my class and all the crabs in the world. He was a real crab fan. I'll have to ask him, does he still love crabs as much as he did then? Here's the habitat page. Fiddler crabs live in sand. Nice bright colors. Here's his food page. Fiddler crabs eat sand and algae. Very bright colors that he's used, and he uses all of his space. Fiddler crabs have a big claw, and the skin of a crab is rough. So he has used a technique as well that you see in nonfiction books, where he wants you to see that the skin of a crab is rough. So he has a line come out and he draws a close-up picture of the skin to illustrate that. So that's a cool technique that Seba used. And then his interesting fact: fiddler crabs move quickly to get away. Can you tell that he took his time and did his very best work? I can too. Nice job. And that was the end. So there's 2 examples, kindergarten, just for you to kind of have a feel for. You're going to be working on this writing project all week. I want you to take your time, do your very best work, both on the illustrations and on the writing, okay? If indeed this summer we can gather, if it works out that we can, I'd love for us to have a read around and be able to share our fiction books that you wrote, your personal narrative books, and your nonfiction informational books that you've written. So when you write them, keep them in a safe place, and I will be looking forward to seeing them. Maybe if worse comes to worse, next fall when we're back at school. All right? Have a great job. Good job, authors and illustrators. Bye.